It's time to talk about another Pokemon spin-off game, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. It turned 20 years old this year. In early 2024, I covered Pokemon Coliseum for its 20th anniversary, and XD Gale of Darkness is a successor to Coliseum. So, let's do a review of Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness for the 20th year mark. The beginning of the game does show that a ship gets abducted by the Shadow Pokemon. It's Lugia. And like Coliseum, there are no gyms and no league. This is a totally different character, in which by default, the character's name is Michael. And just like the protagonist from Coliseum, he does go through different locations. You do battle trainers, doing quests, and catching Pokemon by snagging. But yeah, the gameplay is more the same as it was in Coliseum. The models of the Pokemon hasn't changed much. They do keep the double battle. The overworld area hasn't changed much. The Ore region has some of the same areas that were in Coliseum, in which I was confused, but there are new areas introduced in XD Gale Darkness, like the laboratory, the harbor, the City Dark Island, etc., which it was good to introduce new locations, something that didn't happen in the previous game. Speaking of not repeating, the main protagonist starts off with Eevee instead of Espeon and Umbreon. And just like Coliseum, you do snag the Shadow Pokemon, and thankfully some are new Shadow. One new aspect from the Shadow Pokemon is, besides the shrine you purify them, they added a purified chamber mode. I really like that. Maybe one day I'd like to purify all the Shadow Pokemon in the chamber mode. The graphics still hasn't changed, so I won't say too much. The music in this is very good. In fact, the end credits is probably my favorite piece of music in the game. That in the final battle. The music did improve a little more than Coliseum. Speaking of the final battle, this one I like more than Coliseum. And just like Evis, the boss has a twist. It starts off as a gentle, nice old man who knows about Pokemon, but then he goes serious at the end of the game. I probably like that one over the other one. There are modes in the game similar to Coliseum, like the battle mode multiplayer, but there's battle style attractions. And one interesting element is Pokespots, where wild Pokemon are captured after luring them with food bait, which that was cool to include it without any Shadow Pokemon involved. Now, I do want to mention the mixed reviews of the game. Video game critics say the game was recycling material from Coliseum, and while, yeah, that was one of the problems of XD Gale Darkness, but it didn't bother me for being the same game, just with minor differences. I understand that it hasn't changed much, but at least I like some parts. Anyways, let's get to the two aspects that were important. The first one, and most obvious, is Shadow Lugia. And I'm gonna say this. Shadow Lugia looks awesome. I said this before, but I love Lugia. It's one of my favorite Pokemon, as I mentioned in my top 10 favorite Pokemon videos. But the Shadow Lugia's design looks way different than the ordinary Lugia. It has a shadow form with dark purple coloration and even red eyes. Like, this is a top tier design of a Pokemon form. Now, in Pokemon Go, they did have a Shadow Lugia, both regular and Apex. I mean, it looks alright, but it's not the XD dark purple we know. But yeah, Shadow Lugia in Go looks underwhelming. The next thing is introducing two Pokemon. One we know before this game came out, and the other one is a brand new one that debuted in this game before Pokemon Diamond and Pearl came out. Munchlax was shown in the game eating the food bait, in which Munchlax appear like Pokemon Dash on the DS and Pokemon Destiny Deoxys movie. And this creature, which was shown inside the ship, and this is a brand new one. I didn't know what the creature's name, other than it was a brand new Pokemon from the next region. It did debut from the Lucario movie along with a few others. The Pokemon was named Bonsly, and its design looked very familiar. Well, it did click with me and noticed that it looked just like Sudowoodo, in which Bonsly was the pre-evolved form of Sudowoodo. But yeah, a really great mystery to notice when I first played this game. But yeah, Pokemon XD Gale Darkness was a pretty good Pokemon game, and I probably like it more than Coliseum. While I get that the game didn't change much, I think I like it a lot more. And I am excited that this game, as well as Coliseum, are coming to Nintendo Switch Online for future GameCube games, which I can't wait to play that game that I haven't touched in less than 20 years. That is all for my review of Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. Let me know which Pokemon game on the GameCube do you like more, Colosseum or XD Gale of Darkness. I'm very curious to see which one people like. And this is the last Pokemon GameCube game video, and we can move on to other future games, including the big anniversary coming up. I have more video games on the way. I will see you all in the next one.